Newsfirst, NewsLine with Faraz, Shauketaly.
And a very good morning to you. This is Newsline coming to you live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo, and of course broadcasting on TV1, a proud member of the Capital Maharaja Group. Now then, this morning and this week we thought we'd focus on promises that are not being kept and what a departure from procedure can really mean to you, the people. In light of all the various allegations and the consternation that has been displayed post-cabinet reshuffle, we've got here, all the way from Hong Kong, the Director of the Asian Human Rights Council, Mr. Basil Fernando, who's attorney at law as well. Very good morning to you, Mr. Fernando, and welcome to Newsline.
Good morning.
Now then, we have reports that the Auditor General of Sri Lanka has refused to sign off on the accounts, saying that the national debt is wrongly stated. Now, when he says it's wrongly stated, it's not by a couple of rupees. At stake is something in excess of 500 billion rupees. That's not a million, 500 billion rupees. That's a hell of a lot of money. And it has been incorrectly stated. He says, the Auditor General says that he doesn't have any auditorial evidence, any evidence that he as an auditor can rely on to support those accounts. He says that the government have not taken given enough recognition to the liabilities that will arise from guarantees given by the Treasury to bank loans taken by outfits like the RDA and the Water Board. And the outgoing finance minister said that he leaves the country's economy in good shape. What does this all mean?
See, first of all, I think the Auditor General should be congratulated to have the integrity to expose something which is so serious. If I think in this country we fail to to realize, when you make exposure like that, not only the government but the people should take it so seriously, because this is about whether our economies are working towards suicide. If I falsify my own accounts, can that be anything more foolish than that for my future? It's the same about the nation. And of course there is nothing for us to be surprised. All the time there is, people don't get the facts. People are not given the facts. Now, at least in this instance, Auditor General is giving them the facts. But otherwise, it's the duty of the government to do that. Behind all this is, do we have the capacity to basically maintain law and order in this country? This is the issue that we have to ask ourselves, because this is not just a question of law and courts. This is about the economy. See, from Adam Smith down to all discussions on the economy. The first issue that they have stated is that it is only when the law and order situation is maintained by the government that the economy can function. It can do things that miracles. It can do miracles to to change the situation of the country. But if the law and order situation is not there, we are letting down the economy. And this is something that has not been understood. See, the government's job, first of all, by any standard, is to maintain law and order. Let the institutions of law and order function properly so that others can function properly.
And we have a perfect example of this law and order situation. We had a war for 30 plus years, and that was a breakdown in law and order. And the country suffered hugely, economically, amongst the principal items of suffering was the economy. So the people of this country have had that experience to contend with. They can see exactly what it is like to live in a post-war situation and during a war situation where the economy is simply, I mean, the people in the war-affected areas are enjoying life which they've been unable to do for 30 years. That's 3 whole generations of people who've been out there, you know.
Yeah, see, ever since we shifted to what is called the free market economy,
yeah,
we forgot the very essence of what the free market economies expect the state to do to get the economy functioning. You know, one of the most well-known names in the free market economics, Milton Friedman.
Yeah.
When he was asked, you know, what should the government do?
Yeah.
He said just one thing: maintain law and order. So, free market economy cannot function when there is no law and order. What did we do? By the 1978 Constitution and thereafter, we removed the foundations, the basic guarantees of ensuring that our basic institutions were to maintain law and order has been, you know, put into a serious dysfunctional state.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, once you have done that, you must expect chaos. We shouldn't be surprised.
We shouldn't be surprised.
We shouldn't be surprised. You know, we have done things which can only produce chaos. And that is what if the government cannot understand, and that is where there is no distinction from this government and the earlier governments in the recent past.
But
all of them.
But I detect. Correct me if I'm wrong, but a serious lack of commitment on the part of this government led by our Prime Minister and his team, who are the driving force, to deliver upon the promises that they made. The economy is in an absolute shambles, apart from the understated figures there. They're trying to run this on some PR bandwagon, which the previous government failed to do. And it is clear that this government is also failing on that score. But, you know, Adam Smith spoke about the need to have law and order as the cornerstone. But then he also wrote of the invisible hand.
Yeah.
Now, how possible is for the invisible hand to show its hand when law and order is at a premium, is at a risk premium?
Yeah, because you see, the invisible hand can work. Invisible hand means by activities of millions of people who are engaged in the economy will regulate itself and produce things for the benefit of the people. But to the fundamental mechanism of regulation should be there, which is law and order. So therefore, we are even really contradicting the possibility of the economy beginning to function on its own.
Do you think that in this latest cabinet reshuffle, because obviously it has been done because of some unhappiness and to try and see if somebody else can do a better job, do you think that a vital ingredient has been missed out by our leadership, in the sense that the Minister of Law and Order hasn't been reshuffled?
Yeah, if you go by the performance of the last 2 years after the new government, when the law and order situation has deteriorated much more, then you should review the people who are giving leadership. Of course, not only the minister, but the policy line of the government.
Now, you said you touched on almost a sore point. Review the leadership, you said. Now, isn't it time or is, in your opinion, the time opportune, and isn't it the right time now for the people to review the leadership of our various political parties? Because that seems to be the problem.
Yeah, see, it is the duty of the people, first of all, to ask if the things are done in the way that is being done, will there be a change for the better?
Yeah.
Now, that question was not asked 2 years back, and that question has not been asked now.
Yeah.
Merely when you say that there will be a good governance,
yes,
people should have asked, how do you do a good governance when the situation of the law enforcement agency is so poor in this country? When there is the prosecuting branch is so poor in this country? The judiciary itself, there are a lot of questions. How do you deliver good governance? So the whole issue has to boil down to, as you said, 30 years or more, we have gone down the drain in the issue of all these institutional problems. First thing is, put the institution in order so that we can expect at least some change to come.
Yeah.
But even the basic, for capacity improvement, no investments are being made.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, if you take ask the basic issue.
Yes.
Do we have the real capacity to investigate any kind of crime, including the economic crimes in this country? Do you have the real capacity?
Yeah.
No, because that is why things have dragged on. We don't have the capacity in two ways. First thing is, we don't give the institutions the free hand to do their job professionally without interference. Yeah. Secondly, we don't have enough people to do it. Enough qualified people to do it. The same with the Attorney General's department. Same today with the judiciary. Yeah. So we are living in a fool's paradise, thinking that a broken clock can give proper timing. It's a broken clock. Our system of the institutional framework for law and order is a broken clock. It is not functioning. So each one is producing more problems, not solution to the problems that we have. Mm-hmm. So naturally, with each year, we will be accumulating more and more problems to a point. We are walking towards a kind of a disaster. Yeah. That will be far bigger than the natural disasters we have had. Mm-hmm.
But what can the people do? No,
the people's first duty is to raise the right question.
Yes.
See, the people, when there is a problem, somebody will ask, well, whether this particular welfare measure is given or this and that. Nobody is really, there is no discourse in this country by the people who are capable of raising these questions. That's the intelligentsia of this country.
But isn't
the media in this country, yes, the legal profession in this country.
But isn't this, or aren't all these people, their efforts being sort of held back, because people here tend to be appointed on whose friends they are?
That's right.
There are friends and hangers-on and supporters who are very good at all that, but are not professional enough to run the country. What is all this business about the cabinet reshuffle, and now the ministers are wanting, there's one who wants the transfer of vehicles and paintings. Paintings, for heaven's sake. These are little comfort things, are they? And they're not their personal property. If they want to, they can buy their own paintings and take them along everywhere they go. This is not their corporate. This is our country we're speaking of. And then, there are people who expect this, that, and the other. But they seem to have forgotten what they promised to deliver. Where is the good governance?
Yeah, the issue of this kind of things that you are mentioning about what the ministers are trying to carry paintings and all this is comic.
It's comic, isn't it?
This is terribly comic. The why you do changes in the cabinet and all this is to do the jobs that are not being done better.
So, but now they only want their title changed, but they want to take the portfolios. There's now some consternation. We're waiting for the president to announce the Gazette, which will show which institutions are listed under whom. But some of these ministers want what they did before. Well, that's then the change is all pedantic then. Well, why change if you are going to give them all these other portfolios? Why should the Minister of Foreign Affairs have Sri Lankan Airlines? Well, he needs the planes, but he can always make a booking, like the President did when he travelled commercial. So why would a Minister of Foreign Affairs want to have the SEC and the Stock Exchange and so on and so forth under them? For what? This is not their personal fiefdom.
See, in the executive, in the governance, the first principle is that anybody who is appointed to a position should not be looking for, and it not be possible to profit thereby. Today, every position people are vying for in a way that they could make profit out of it. This or that. That is why the more lucrative business is being, they want to get attached, their ministries attached to this thing. See, again, you go back to what Adam Smith and all what they have said. There are things for the government to do. There are things for the private sector to do. There are things for the public to do.
Yeah.
And here, the government is trying to do things which they should not get involved in. On the other hand, government is not doing the very basic thing that they are being elected for. They are kept in as government.
But why is the international community silent? When in the last government we had the armed forces indulging in various little businesses, they were roundly berated by the international community, amongst other people, and by activists and the media in this country, led by us, our network. Now, why should that happen? And people, the international community were very silent, are very silent now, as opposed to have been very vocal in the past. That sounds to me as not being very responsible towards the people of this country. And the international community always say, oh, but we are talking on behalf, the people of Sri Lanka. Why? Why is it silent?
See, the basic demands that what you call the international community, that is by the United Nations and some of the more powerful countries in the West.
Yeah.
What they have, basic demands that they have made for the last government, are also the same demands they are holding for this government.
Yeah.
Of course, at the early part when there was a change, it is natural to give them space and see whether this new government will do a different job than how it was in the last government. But when it is not happening, and I think it is also the duty of the international community to take these cases up in a more stronger way.
I would suggest you that the word that you're looking for is in a more equitable manner. Because when in the past they've been so vocal, now they seem to think that just because there was regime change, which obviously they were all part of, that everything is fine. But it's not, is it?
No, I don't think that there is a conclusion that everything is fine. If you go by the reports that has come recent times from the various rapporteurs in the UN. For example, the last report by the rapporteur on the judiciary.
Yeah.
It's a damning report on the kind of the judicial system we have, the policing system we have.
The delays in the laws.
The delays in the laws, as well as, the complete, inefficiency of the whole system.
Our Minister of Justice seems to be unaware that there are 900,000 cases on average that are being moved forward to the next court year, every year, and nothing appears to be done.
See, if you want to destroy a modern nation, there is one simple formula. Have a delay in justice. Then you destroy everything, because every issue has to be led to a final decision. What we are postponing is a liability, or decisions on liability is postponed for 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
There are many cases.
Yeah.
The last week, about 2 weeks back, there was a case which has happened in about 2002.
Yeah.
Finally, in the Court of Appeal, it was sent back to retrial. After 15 years, now we go back to 0 point.
Isn't it in that same sort of context, isn't it really that the people should react? The people
That's right, people should react.
Should now get out of their do-nothing seats and start reacting and say, we want a change. We are not prepared to accept this nonsense.
Yeah, people also should say exactly what the change they want. See, here the change would simply mean that whether we want a new government or change of government, like that.
I think they need...
Like what they did in 2015.
Yeah.
But what do you expect from that government to do? Do you expect a fundamental reform of your law and order, the fundamental reform that will make law and order possible? See, a nation that is unable to investigate crime and to prosecute crime, what is that nation in modern terms? That is what we have become. We are unable to prosecute. All major
Are we
issues.
unable or unwilling to prosecute?
It goes together. Unwillingness and incapacity.
Right.
We suffer from both. We have incapacity because we do not build capacity. We do not invest on capacity building because we do not want this kind of a situation to be disturbed. Everyone wants to keep a space to engage in crime. The fraud is crime. The financial fraud is simply crime. So we want to keep spaces to be able to commit all kinds of things which are illegal. But
the messengers always seem to be shot at. We had on our Sinhalese Patikota program this morning on Sirius TV, we had Bandara Jayasekara interviewing Lasil de Silva, the former secretary of the Presifac, the Presidential Commission. He was removed. They made out that there was a contract. Well, there was never a contract. But he is named today, this morning. Last week on this program, he named Rishad Badruddin as one of the people he holds responsible. Today he's named another two. So this sort of bullying is going on.
It is not just bullying, this is illegality. When you remove people who have been assigned for jobs, not for any fault of theirs, not because they are not doing the job, but because they are doing the job, then it is a constant, we are bringing chaos on ourselves. In order to save this person or the other person, you put the whole nation into a chaos. And we are chaos makers. The last history, our 10, 20 years of history, continuous histories, we are making our own chaos, not our development, not our future. And that, whenever there's a disasters occur, you begin to see the magnitude of the disasters come from people who are neglectful of the basic institutions which are supposed to keep, certain patterns which will lead to functional society. So we are in a very lunatic state. I think it's the time the civil society itself begin to, talk the proper language and show what it is. If you are a madman, if you say that he is not having, some sense or something, that's a very poor way of understanding madness. So what we are having in terms of law and order is a mad situation. That is why, this kind of finance, the problem of finance, 5 billion rupees being not accounted for. Now that's the kind of result.
500 billion.
500 billion not accounted for. This is the kind of result we get when we have this type of chaos, and that is why the conscientious people who are trying to do something are being dismissed. I listened to the Mr. Lassel Silva's interview on my way. Then you feel, we should be weeping as a nation. Why we are allowing this kind? The civil society's duty at this time to come in defense of these people, and we have the kind of civil society.
Well, we have the lead page in the island newspaper by Shauketaly Fernando, the news editor of the island, who bemoans the fact that civil society organizations that campaigned for this government have looked askance at the government's first cabinet reshuffle, and Professor Sarat Vijayasuriya said that this cabinet reshuffle is a sham, it's a farce. Is it a farce because ministers are asking for their own little businesses to be moved along with them? So what's the point of changing the ministry then?
No, it's a farce because it does not show determination to resolve problems that remain unresolved. So if the appointment indicated that this kind of appointment is going to make a difference for better, then the civil society would have supported. That is why conscientious, people like the Just Society, the professor, and all these people are very unhappy, and they are expressing their unhappiness, and they should be credited for that. Instead of just supporting the government because we supported 2 years back, they are very strongly saying, get awakened. There is something radically wrong going on here, and those should be supported. These people should be supported, and more voices should be added, and then things will change. It doesn't change because it's only isolated voices. If all of us say that the man who has been removed is a credible person, the kind of person who can contribute to a change, put him back, then in that way people can begin to intervene.
Leave on the back burner the present frauds, just for only momentarily. What about the frauds and the crimes of the past? Wasim Tajuddin, that lively young man who lost his life in very, very questionable circumstances, with so much of cover-up going on. How come even that is not being investigated properly? Or if it is being investigated, it's very, very slow.
This exactly bring back to the same point. The whole issue of maintaining law, that is what is being betrayed, and a glaring example of betrayal is Tajuddin case.
I mean, they spoke about the electric chair and so on and so forth, and that this is what will happen if there's a hybrid court and all sorts of wonderful interpretations. But they didn't talk about that young man, Wasim Tajuddin. He lost his life for no other reason other than perhaps 2 or 3 people decided that he should go. They played God.
And
in a democracy.
That is being played on the life of so many people. Life of so many people.
Yeah.
If particular officer, chief somewhere doesn't like a judge,
yes,
they remove the judge and even go to charge him for something on false charges. The country has come to that point. Everywhere, see the capacity
do you think this government is protecting former President Mahinda Rajapaksa? Yes or no?
I mean, politically, I'm not, a person who has inside knowledge about the political.
What does it appear to you?
It appeared to be protecting. There's no doubt. All these criminals have been protected. Not only last government leaders. Huge amount of crime that is going on. Somebody is being protected when there is 500 billion not accounted for, and it is not investigated and immediately found out how did this happen. All these people who are doing that, he is being protected.
Basil Fernando, it's been a wonderful morning. Thank you very much for having been on Newsline, and we look forward to welcoming you again on our network sometime soon when the time permits. In the meantime, that's the way it is from Newsline on this wonderful Monday morning. Take care and God bless.